Edge, because I know some of you have come a long way for tonight. I'd also like to welcome you to St. Philip and St. James Church, and also to the home of our little Alderley History Group. So the Alderley History Group, who have hosted tonight, was born out of a project that was initiated by Manchester University, Manchester Museum, and the National Trust, and it was called the Alderley Landscape Project. This ran from 1995 to 2005, 10 years of studying every aspect of Alderley. The surrounding areas, the plants, the fauna, the mining, the architect, the archaeology, the people, the history, and also the legends, culminating in a rather large book called The Story of Alderley Living with the Edge, which was compiled by Professor John Prague. Out of this study came our little group. And as we knew, there was lots of stories to tell, more to find out, and so we are 20 years to this year. And so when we were contacted by Chris, Joe Beard, and he explained about his folk fantasia, it seemed fitting to host this as part of our 20th anniversary celebrations. Now, interestingly, this fantasia was performed in Alderley in 1991 at St. Hilary's School. Now, we know it's gone now, it's lovely big houses, but it's now the Alderley Edge School for Girls, joined with Mount Carmel. And in that time, when Chris performed it, the proceeds went to the restoration of St. Philip's Church. So it seems very fitting that we are performing it here tonight. But before any great performance, what do we have to tell you? We have to tell you to turn your phones off. We are live streaming tonight on Zoom, so it fights, the Wi-Fi's okay, but if you could put your phone off or turn it onto airplane mode, that will make sure that the Wi-Fi remains good. There's two toilets at the back of the church. The fire exits are the way you came in, and there's one over here to the right. The interval will be about 20 minutes tonight, 20 minutes. And also we would ask you to sort of remain in your seats, and we will bring drinks out to you, and so that everybody doesn't rush to the back. I hope you all bought a raffle ticket tonight, because in Alderley, what we love about Alderley is that when some group is doing something, the rest of the community helps. And so it came to our attention this week that the Wizard Tea Rooms have started an initiative for a defibrillator. We think we need a defibrillator up on the edge. So tonight's raffle, the money from that will go to help buy a defibrillator, start some training, and have it there up on the edge when everybody's out walking. So that's very good. Thank you, Karen. So I think that's all my rubbish. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Chris Joe Beard and his friends with the Legend of the Edge.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming along, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. I was actually born in Higher Poynton. I wasn't born in Alderley Edge, but I've been under the spell of this place for a long, long time. When I was a child, I lived at the top of Higher Poynton, and you could see right across the fields to the edge. And in inclement weather, it looked such an interesting place, very spooky. And there was a little spire to the right of it, and here I am, under the spire. And every Good Friday, for a few years, between the ages of 6 and 10, we would take a trek across the fields and the pathways to the edge to see the carving of the wizard's face. And I remember the sand pits so well. There were a lot of sand pits on the other side of the road, and we played there all day, and we went home on the bus to Macclesfield, and then the steam train to Higher Point, and asleep all the way. And then in later times, I wrote this song called The Wizard. It's the well-known legend of the wizard. And then I remembered the skyline. An interesting point. Not only could you see the skyline of the Edge, but when the light was in the west, you could see Snowdon and the Great Orme. Just about made them out. It was a lovely view. I was a very privileged child to live there. And later on, I wrote the song, and I wrote an instrumental called Skyline. And then I found a book in an old bookshop in Stockport, which was called Morton's. It was down some stairs near the Garrick Theatre. It was a wonderful shop. And it was an old book. It was a reprint anyway, a limited edition. It was called Alderley, Edge and its District. And all the Wizard's Prophecy was in it, which we'll be doing later, which is quite amazing. I'm sure you'll be quite spooked by it. No, I was. And then I found a story about Ellen Beck. And I got 2 songs and an instrumental, and I saw a thread coming through. So I decided to carry on with this and went to do a lot of research. And over the years, it developed into a show. We had slides, we had a screen up and slides, but it wasn't possible to continue with that because of it had to be in sync. And we just sort of developed the show, so it was also out of date. So we have people dressed up in costume, and my dear wife here was dressed as Anne Boleyn when she was 6 months pregnant in a damp field with a horse called Marjorie. I remember it well. And to have people dressed as wizards is not a very sensible thing to do.
Maybe.
He disappears in a puff of smoke. Yeah, so I'll just make it quick. It was recorded for Radio Manchester, made a Halloween recording, which was recorded onto CD, and it's on Epona Records. I haven't got any left of all gone, but if you want any, look on Epona Records, and you'll get the CD. It was also adopted by a band called King's Ransom for many years, and they recorded a show on Radio Manchester. And then later on, I took it to various festivals, and a notable one was the Buxton Festival, where we performed it in not the Pavilion Gardens itself, but a cinema at the side. And it was unforgettable for me because the front row was full of the last remaining suffragettes. And I can claim to have kissed a suffragette, which is a memory. And of course it's been to the school down the road, St Hilary's. It's played the Dean Water, King Edward's Chapel in Macclesfield. And a place called The Yard up the road, which is, I don't believe it's going anymore. But this is its 19th performance in 40 years, so it's a rare bird. But I think it's come home and it's at its summit now. And I've had 16 musicians over the years, some no longer with us, bless them, I'm sure they're in spirit tonight. But I've now found some wonderful friends to perform with. So I introduce firstly Sutton Coldfield's finest wizard, Malcolm Robinson.
You won't be clapping later when you see me what I'm going to do.
Oh dear.
What's the together with the left foot?
And the very, very fine professional touring folk duo, Paul Walker from Stoke and Karen Pfeiffer from Stuttgart.
I'm not that long in love with Alderley Edge as Joe is, but almost, because before I became a professional musician, I was an outdoor education instructor. And I came from Stanley Bowers from Staffordshire to Alderley Edge, regularly taking groups of children over the edge, telling them stories about Alderley Edge, about Injin Vane, about the Golden Stone, about the Wizard's Well and all that sort of thing. And then we would take them into the copper mines, do all the caving and everything. So we've also been in the Blue Pool, not with the kids, but and it's been an absolute fantastic experience. And of course the spell of the edge totally fell on me. We might have wondered what has a German got to do with that. But I totally fell in love from my own experience and telling all these stories of Alderley Edge over 4 or 5 years, where we took the children in groups from schools all over Staffordshire to Alderley Edge.
The words I have to say may well be simple, but they're true. If you won't give your love, there's nothing more that we can do. Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? You say it's very hard to leave behind the life you knew. But there's no other way. Now it's really up to you. Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. Freedom, the lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. Freedom, the lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen?
Good evening. This is a celebration of some of the myths, legends and stories from that mysterious, ancient and rocky escarpment in northeast Cheshire known as the Edge of Alderley. It was known in earlier times as the Ridge of Radnor and is riddled with caves and caverns connected by passageways from ancient lead and copper mining, a most mysterious place. Standing above the Cheshire Plain, you know all this, don't you? You live round here. Standing above the Cheshire Plain, it can have a brooding appearance in certain weather conditions. This has, over the years, given rise to many myths, legends and stories surrounding the Edge. Long after King Arthur and Queen Guinevere were laid to rest in Avalon in the southwest, did stories still abound that the great leader was not dead, but merely resting in a secret place, along with his legendary knights in an enchanted place that held all the wealth of the great king and his warriors. It was said that the great wizard Merlin had himself received divine instruction to rest the warriors and watch over them until the fateful day when he would awaken them all to defend the land and its people once more. This awesome place, it was believed, lay beneath the Edge, deep within the very heart of the place, its entrance guarded by the golden stone and the holy iron gates. Long ago, a Mobily farmer rode out to Macclesfield Fair, reluctantly to sell his beautiful horse, a milk-white mare he called Rondor. He hoped for a worthy price, as he and his elderly mother were in need of money to keep their farm. She was special, and also a foundling, as the farmer and his mother had found the foal one morning in their barn. They considered this to be a divine gift and were heartbroken to think hard times had forced them to sell her one day. The farmer's journey took him over the Edge towards Macclesfield along the well-worn drover's track, and he came past a place known as the Thieves' Hole. Suddenly, he was startled by the sudden appearance of a robed and hooded figure standing in the misty half-light. This tall and majestic figure had a long white beard and was clutching a strangely carved staff. He pointed to the farmer. "Hold, farmer! What price for your horse?" The farmer was too confused and afraid to barter, but informed the stranger that his price could only be reached at the fair. As he was about to ride off, he was commanded by the stranger to that very same spot at sundown, as he proclaimed, "It will not be sold at the fair." As it was, no offer came remotely near the asking price, though all agreed it was a fine horse indeed. The dejected farmer took the same route and decided to meet the stranger. Once more, he agreed time and place, where he hoped to negotiate nearer to his desired price. As promised, the mysterious stranger was indeed there, and he beckoned to the farmer to follow him. The terrified farmer followed behind and was wondering where this was leading to, but carried on for some 20 minutes until up ahead the stranger stopped and motioned to the farmer to stay. Facing a huge outcrop of rock, he then raised his staff and struck the rock 3 times. With a noise like thunder, the rock split open to reveal an ornate pair of iron gates. The farmer was thrown from his terrified horse, but, noticing the jewel ring on the stranger's hand, decided not to flee, as this man maybe had wealth after all. He calmed his horse down and followed the stranger along the dimly lit passage behind the now opened iron gates. Time passed as they entered to what seemed to the farmer to be almost the bowels of the earth itself. But yet the light grew stronger and stronger with a strange bluish tint. Finally, up ahead in silhouette, at the entrance to a large cavern filled with light, stood beckoning the wizard. For indeed, the mysterious stranger was none other than the Wizard of the Edge himself.
The sun shine upon this land, and all the sons of Albion are waiting my command. All these things I could do, and I could work my spells for you, 'cause I'm the wizard, I'm the wizard, and I'll help you. I'm the wizard, I'm the wizard, and I'll answer to no man. I control the thunder that fills the earth with fear. I can hear the wind as she whispers in my ear. All these things I could do, and I could work my spell for you. I'm the wizard, I'm the wizard, and I'll help you if I can. I'm the wizard, I'm the wizard.
Trembling with fear, the farmer led his horse into the inner chamber and met a sight not for mortal eyes to behold. With arms outstretched, the wizard motioned to the farmer to look all about him. Chest upon chest of gold, jewels, silver, and all manner of wealth lay everywhere, sparkling in the eerie light of the chamber. Then along the wall of the cavern he saw 100 stalls, each containing a simple bed. On each bed lay a sleeping knight in shining armour, deep in enchanted sleep, with his sword and shield at the ready. At the foot of each bed lay a sleeping white horse, all except one. Your steed is required this day, Father, by this warrior, who is awaiting my call, as are the others, to awake, rise, and defend this land when dire peril looms. The warrior is the once and future king himself, Arthur, and your horse was destined for this cause, destined from the day she was born. wizard then turned to the farmer and gave out this remarkable prophecy. Thrice lost shall England be, thrice won, twixt dawn of day and setting sun. And we, the wondrous coven band, these May-led martyrs for the land, shall rush resistless upon the foe, they the power of Cestrians know, and this all-glorious day be won by Royal George, King George's son. A battle to be lost then gained, when George, the son of George, shall reign. The wizard then spoke directly to the farmer. Farmer, you must now leave this place. Speak of it to no one. Take all the wealth you can carry and be gone. Remember, if you do speak of it, all your wealth will be turned to dust. The farmer gathered all that he could, then left the cavern, making his way back to the iron gates and out into the twilight. Once he was through the iron gates, they closed together behind him, and the golden stone sealed itself with a noise like thunder. Never again could he find the gates since that day. The enchanted nights have lain undisturbed through the centuries, though some say their spirit was felt twice, when a George, the son of a George, did reign. Centuries later, prior to the Wars of the Roses, the Latham family led a privileged existence as major landowners, who seemed to alternate between estates based in Lancashire and Cheshire. Their name changed later to Stanley, simply by marriage and no male heir. The daughter of Lord Thomas, Emily, stepsister to Oscartel, took the name Stanley after marrying a Stanley from Alderley. But for now, we recount the remarkable story in the 14th century of Lord Thomas Latham and his reckless affair with one of his servants, Mary Oscartel. The inevitable outcome of this was the birth of a child, who was later to become known throughout the land. It is easy to picture the secret meetings and trysts, the hiding places and whispered promises. Promises which, owing to the strict social barriers of the time, could only be broken.
It was only fascination that brought you here to me, and my imagination ran away with me. You have a love, and I a love, and the spell is broken. No one comes.
The sun has woken and shines upon his head. The hearts are broken in the night somewhere. You have love, and I love.
The spell is broken.
Now the morning comes.
Yes, we danced and we sang, but the wine was so strong. Now the spell has now been broken, for I could never be your lover.
So come to me,
Whisper goodbye.
mine eyes, they follow me. I must forget thee, but this love could never be. You had a love, and I in love. This love is broken, now the morning comes. Yes, we danced and we sang, but the wine was so strong. Now the spell is now be broken, for I could never be your lover. So come to me, whisper goodbye.
There were very few trees upon the edge of Radnor in those times, and it was an almost barren outcrop overlooking the Cheshire Plain. It is hard to imagine that wild boar roamed the dense forest plains, and even eagles flew above and nested on the edge. The Eagle and Child name goes back to a legend that in the reign of Edward III in the 14th century, Lord Thomas Latham, ancestor of the Stanleys, Earls of Derby, had only one legitimate child, a daughter, Emily. But he had an illegitimate son by his servant girl, Mary Oscatel. He had a cunning plan. Where have I heard that before? Anyway, he had a cunning plan and laid the child at the foot of a tree in which an eagle had built its nest.
Ask to lay them. My name is asked to lay them. My story you shall hear. How I became the eagle child who lived in Radnor. My father was Lord Thomas, known to one and all. My mother, she was Mother May, who served in Latham Hall. Lord Thomas and my mother met often secretly, all in the woods of Radnor and the heights of Alderley. And often secretly, all in the woods of Radnor and the heights of Alderley. Her name was Mary Oscatel, she bore to him the son, unknown to Lady Latham. I was that very one. Lord Thomas made my mother to leave me beneath the tree, where the eagle had its nest in the heights of Alderley. Presently Lord Thomas and his wife came riding by, saw me there beneath the tree. Loudly I cried. has fallen from above. The eagles will not claim him, he must be raised by us. So I grew up with them as their only son, never knowing the dark secret, how my life began. But one day, while I'm hunting, all in the morning clear, a messenger he came to me, running like the deer.
Lord Thomas, he lies dying, sir, you must return.
I rode with speed to lay them all, and then the truth did learn. Lord Thomas had confessed the truth to my sister Emily. I made my mother leave me neath the tree. The house, his wealth, and all his land were taken from my hand and gave unto my sister, just as they both had planned. So have mercy on my mother, wherever she may be, but more on Thomas Layden for what he's done for me. And I will wear upon my breast for all the world to see, an eagle made upon a child, for the eagle child was me.
Oscartel was bitter because of his father's deathbed confession, which led to his being stripped of his inheritance. His crest, however, an eagle preying upon a newborn child, became famous throughout the land as the Eagle and Child. And as I'm sure many of you know, there is evidence to this day of this remarkable story, as not only are there inns and hotels called the Eagle and Child, but around the Alderley Park area can be seen evidence in stone pillars and gateposts, and even onto the cap badge of the Liverpool Regiment, whose patron was the World War I enlisted-in-chief, Lord Derby, one of the Stanleys of Alderley. Oscartel Layden also became known as the Eagle Child. Nothing is known of Mary Oscartel's fate. She must have made a discreet departure, knowing her child to be secure within the Layden family. Emily Layden later married Sir John Stanley, and it is believed that her grandson may be the man who deserted Richard III at the Battle of Bosworth, switching sides to Henry, as he observed from his vantage point that Richard was about to lose. Another tale of entangled lives from the age is that of the tragic Ellen Beck. Ellen lies buried now in a field bearing her name, Nell Beck Field, which is directly opposite the Wizard restaurant, once a public house frequented by miners. Sadly, no one knows where she lies, as the marker stone disappeared long ago. Ellen was a servant at Fallows Hall, which can still be found on the Chelford Road and is now a private house. She later worked at Stanley Hall, both halls succumbing to fire. She was a bad luck person, wasn't she? She was known to be eccentric, telling me. One was said to run with the March hare, and she often claimed to have seen the Holy Iron Gates, though, when asked, could never find the place. Ellen was in love with a fellow servant who toyed with her affections. Being of a sensitive disposition and heartbroken, she took her own life after he refused her. She was buried in unconsecrated ground as she had committed suicide, a sorry victim of the religious intolerance of her day.
And it's of a young babe who dwelt at Alderley, and cruel was to be her fate. She chanced to spy out walking one day the holy iron gates, but the wizard's curse that none should see did surely find its way as she sat upon her true love's knee to bid him name the day. Oh no, he cried, this could never be. For a single man I vow to stay. I have a love for thee, Ellen Beck, but another has come my way. And up she's gone to her father's chest, to where the poison lay, and she's drunk that foul deadly brew all on that summer's day. They've laid poor Ellen in a grave outside of holy ground, because she went and took her own life. Now the wizard she might find. Stanley Hall was consumed by fire, burned down to the ground, after the death of poor Ellen Beck, whose grave has never been found.
The title of our next song is taken from the children's book written by the celebrated writer Alan Garner, who camped out on the edge whilst he wrote the weird stone of Vestingamen, which is set around and on the edge. Although he has told us he adapted a Norse name, Cadolin, in the book for his wizard, he has kindly given our author permission to also use this name to entitle his next song, which is a fantasy tale about possible time shifts on the edge.
The sound of the water falling sings to me. Reach out now and take your fill, and you will see. I looked into the sky to see a raven wing, flying home to Cadolin. 'Twas no mortal sight that ever met my eyes, standing by the wizard's well, the years went by. It was then I saw those iron gates, and there stood Cadolin. Well, am I dreaming, or am I really here? Senses reeling with the sounds I hear. No one calls to me but the wind, or maybe Cadolin. With a voice like thunder, he spoke to me. Who disturbs the sleeping nights of Alderley? Go back to the time where you belong, and never follow Cadolin. In the writhing mist of an autumn sky, Cadolin vanished before my very eyes, and nowhere could be seen those iron gates, and neither Cadolin.
We've now come to that part of the evening you've all been waiting for, the interval. And I think you've been asked to remain in your seats and make is that right?
Yeah, as much as possible.
As much as possible, but good luck with the toilets.
Yes, sorry about the dripping water.
Anyway, we are having about 20 minutes. If you can get all these people served in 20 minutes. We'll see you later.
Thanks for listening. Thank you.
Thank you.
To the jet.
it's in the caves as well. If you want to come back for a coffee afterwards, just come round. What? Yeah. You come that way.
Hello, just while everybody's getting ready. What's wrong, Brendan? All right, okay. Just while you're all getting back to your seats, there's no rush. I'm going to pull the raffle. As far as we know at the minute, we've got to put £300. So that will go to the defibrillator up on the edge. So thank you. That's great. And we've had an offer from Kelly and Sue. They are school first aiders and they would run a course. So run a morning to teach people, and they will do that complimentary. So we're going to get it all together. Up on the edge, you don't know this yet, but we're working hard down here. So I've just got 5 prizes. The first prize is Chris's book, and it is the last book. It will never be published again, it'll never be printed again, and this is the last book. So it is a bluey coloured, no colour on it, 238. If you've got to, hold your hand up, Anne. Brenda, down here. That's good. And Anne, Chris will sign it for you at the end. Okay, right, next one. Oh, it looks like it's orange. 373. 373, orange. Oh, here, up at the front. Oh, everybody's up at the front today. And this is from I told you all the community comes together. This is from the station volunteers. Brenda, right at the front. The station volunteers have done a load of Alderley merchandise. So this is an apron and a tea towel. Next one. No, it's another orange. 382, orange.
Oh, that's nice.
Anybody? Oh, here, over here, over here. Brenda, over here. Hold your arm up. 382. Good. I've never picked a raffle before. Brenda, go that way. That way. I think it's a bottle of wine from John Thompson. Thank you. 326. Just a whitey one. 326. White, coloured, grey, coloured, no colour. 326. Right, okay, I'll put that away. Why does that happen? I don't know why that happens. What? No, incredible. Oh, here's another orangey one. 238. Orange, 238. Who? Oh, somebody down there. It's an Alderley merchandise water bottle. There you go. And I think we've just got one more. One more. This is the best prize of all. 251. 251 orange. Guess what you've got? A year's membership of the Alderley Edge History Group. Hold your hand up. It looks fun. We also, the Alderley Edge History Group has got a Facebook page, so join it. Lots of stories on there. One more thing to tell you tonight. Karen and Paul have done very well today. They've been singing their hearts out. Tomorrow they're at Road Heath, which is only down the road, in the village hall. So if you want to hear more songs and singing from this beautiful duo, come down to Road Heath. I think there's some little flyers on your seats that will tell you all the details. But tomorrow night, what time?
7:30.
7:30.
And I'll tell you the best bit, there's a pizza bun outside.
Wow, that's even better than a breadstick, isn't it? Anyway, just to put this all into context, I found out a very interesting fact about Chris Joe Beard.
Oh no.
Oh no. On the 27th of April, 1970, Chris Joe Beard and his original band, the Purple Gang Band, were on the same lineup as one David Bowie, who came up to Stockport to the Polka Polka Club in Stockport one night only, and Chris Joe Beard played in the lineup with David Bowie. I think a round of applause. And then you might have seen on Granada reports, David Bowie obviously had such a good time, he missed his train home, slept at the station, and they've now got a plaque up. And Chris was invited to the unveiling of the plaque. Have you anything to say, Chris?
Dubious connection, really. I did give them a lot of tales and stories to amuse them.
I think that's
David
amazing.
Bowie came without his band and he asked us to back him. And we tried to learn Space Oddity in the dressing room and it failed miserably. So he went on and did it solo, and as you can imagine, it was brilliant.
So I think now we're all ready. And Wendy, can you turn a few lights off? And we will start off with the second half. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandy. Thank you for being here.
I hope the wine has made the pews a bit softer for you. I've had a message that at the back you're not hearing me very well, some of you. Can you hear me now? If you don't hear me, don't put your hands up. If anyone can't hear me, put your hands up. How else can you do it? Pass the message back, can you? Can you hear him? Anyway, we've better get going. Are we all ready? There were several wells around the edge, but two remain to this day that are still visited In bygone times, the holy well saw people drop coins and bent silver pens into it to use as a wishing well. It is said that if the lame, sick, or even broken-hearted were cured, they would return to the well and would see their pins straightened. The Wizard's Well lies higher up under the ledge, close by the well-known viewing point, Castle Rock. It is there you will see the carved face of an old man above the well, and although time is eroding it, the words under it can still be read. Drink of this and take thy fill, for the water falls by the Wizard's Well. There is an H in the word wizard, and some say this gives it a great age, but who knows? Some of the lower wells disappeared under landslips, but the Holy Well was once blessed and survives to this day. The water still drinkable. I don't actually recommend that, would you? No. You wrote this. You tried for us.
I've not been cured.
The Wizard's Well was no doubt left to its own magical devices.
When you found your dreams had gone, hey, did you play the loser's part? You tried to mend the broken pieces that just fell apart. And did the flame keep on burning through the night and through the day? The big magician promised another way that I could ease my pain. Yes, I still believe in magic, they say some things could happen here. I see a face down in the water, and it is broken by a tear. All the silver pins and coins lying in the wishing well. Who will be the first to find the secret of the wizard's well? I dropped a coin into the water. I said the words I had to say, and the only thing I wish for is you come back to me one day. Yes, I still believe in magic. They say some things could happen here. I see a face down in the water, and it is broken by a tear. All the hopes and stolen dreams trusted to the wishing well. Will your wish reveal the power of the secret of the wizard's world?
The Edge is one of the ancient sites used for beacons, which were a crude early warning system to alert the populace to invasion by the Spanish, Dutch or French. They were, and still are, used for celebration purposes, such as coronations. It also lies on an old droving track between the towns of Macclesfield and Knutsford. The Edge has seen many a weary traveller bed down for the night to shelter beneath tall trees and rocky ledges. Indeed, it gave shelter to ancient tribes such as the Cornevi and the Romans. And in 1745, it is recorded, the small army of Charles Edward, known as, altogether, Bonnie Prince Charlie, on their way to Derby, they spent several nights there demanding food and drink from the terrified locals. I nearly said for them, that would have been great. They wouldn't have got far, would they? From the terrified locals. This is where I'm going to put my next hat on. All homemade.
Oh, we're off to see the wizard.
Yeah. A useful stopping off place for tramps, hawkers and vagrants. Perhaps this is these days you see less and less of them, as the towns and cities now accommodate the homeless. But after 2 world wars, many disturbed and damaged men took to the free rural life of tramping and hawking, to wander the roads and highways, those knights of the road.
I know who he looks like. You know the Hayway painting? The driver on the car.
Walking through the grits and grime, leaving many miles behind. You could see me at the roadside, slowly walking. And though you quickly passed me by, out of the corner of my eye, I could see you'd like to stop and do some talking. For I'm just a gentleman, knight of the road, and I remember every road I've taken. And I walk the streets of Rhyme, to the hills of Ambleside, and to the song of the blackbird I awaken. With some old string for a belt, many winters I have felt, but there is beauty in each and every season. And though I sleep under the stars, and my bed is often hard, I know my comfort lies within my freedom. For I'm just a gentleman, knight of the road, and I remember every road I've taken. And I walk the streets of Rhyme, to the hills of Ambleside, and to the song of the blackbird I awaken. I sleep under the stars, and my bed is often hard. I know my comfort lies within my freedom. And two lovers must be sure that this life will be secure. But a knight of the road has not one penny. Yes, I'm just a gentleman, knight of the road, and I remember every road I've taken. And I walk the streets of Rhyme, to the hills of Ambleside, and to the song of the blackbird I awaken. the holy thorn in Avalon. And though I sleep under the trees that grow high on Alderley, a sleeping night must rise and soon be gone. Yes, I've walked the streets of Rhine to the hills of Ambleside, and to the song of the blackbird I awaken, and to the song of the blackbird I awaken.
John Evans, in the 1920s and early 30s, became known as the Hermit of the Edge. He wasn't the first hermit there, but his background and story have gone into legend. He lived in a homemade cabin, or simple chalet, in a quarry, where he developed an interesting Japanese-style garden behind the Wizard pub, and known as Church Quarry. Evans was quite an intellectual with a university background. He was born in 1884 in Salford, but sadly his mother died in childbirth when he was brought up by his father. He became fascinated by geology and archaeology and qualified as a civil engineer, earning a living as a respected railway civil engineer. It is said he had a Canadian connection, and he may have worked in Canada at some time on the developing rail system there. Time for a hat change. This is the best I could come up with for a Canadian rail system hat.
What else can we expect?
Well, it's either a hat or a Christmas hat. Where have I got to? Here we go. It was maybe developing the sometime. What am I saying? May have worked in Canada at some time on the developing rail system there. And this connection brought about tragedy for him. His one true love was aboard the ocean liner, the Lusitania, in 1915, and died with so many others after she was torpedoed off the coast of Cork. Many of the victims are coming over from Canada. This news overwhelmed him, and he had a nervous breakdown, with his doctor diagnosing neurasthenia and recommended him to go and live under the pines. His condition exempted him from war service, and he found himself upon the edge. Here he set up his home and explored all the underground mines and caves to the extent that he mapped out accurately all of the system. His Manchester University background saw him become the go-to expert on all things archaeological, and he also mentored many caving enthusiasts. His cabin was used as an overnight stay by close companions, and many an evening was spent in song by the fireside. He was a complex man, however, and was said to feel and act awkward in the company of women. Well, I think I can guess, I can go with that. Sorry about that. This gave rise to rumour and speculation, and this was one of the reasons he felt why he should not appear at an inquest caused by the tragic death of a companion one night. Somebody's dropped something. The police found him lifeless in his cabin, and the rumours began. His gardens were a favourite visiting place with the public before and during the Second World War. Sadly, all is now overgrown.
Judge him with so much ease.
At the very bottom of the edge, as far as you can descend, lies an enchanted blue pool. The colours no doubt caused by the copper present there. You know? Sorry about that. On this pool is moored a small wooden boat. How did it get down there? You are all wondering this, aren't you? It was built there by none other than John Evans, and is still down there to this day. The author and our lead singer Karen have both been down to see it at different times. It is impossible to go without a guide. Derbyshire Caving Club. Anyone here from Derbyshire Caving Club? There is.
Steve Mills.
Right. A bit of publicity for you. You won't like what's coming next though. Now, Derbyshire Caving Club hold the lease now for all things to do with Under the Edge.
Excuse me, it's out tune. Does it sound better in tune?
I don't know. We don't want it at the photo club. Let us now go back to a time when all was forest and the edge overlooked the humble hovels, cottages and great halls, when people cleared the tables after a feast to celebrate the incoming of spring. One dance was known as the Cheshire Round Dance, and it was recorded that this was sometimes danced on the great tables in the larger houses, just like at home. I'm sure you're all feeling the same. That the arrival of spring meant so much to all who had suffered a hard winter, and throughout time, man has celebrated this change, from winter to spring, from cold to warm, from darker days to lighter days, a rite of passage. There was once a festival of great antiquity, whose purpose was that of a fertility rite, the rebirth of life after death. In Britain it was called Beltane Night, and in Europe, Walpurgisnacht.
Walpurgisnacht.
Who said that? Are you? Are you questioning my German pronunciation?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Walpurgisnacht.
Not bad.
Which is Walpurgisnacht, April the 30th, the eve of May, and it's still, in fact, celebrated. Since the celebration predated Christianity, its origins and practices were not encouraged and indeed suppressed. Later, its name was adopted for a more sinister ceremony. There is evidence of black magic as well as white magic practiced on the edge. A ring of stone still lies there, once used by the Alderley coven of witches for their ceremonies in the 1960s. This led to crowds gathering upon the edge at Halloween, perhaps hoping to see some sort of happening or ceremony. But Walpurgisnacht is on the eve of May, a celebration of Mother Earth and her transformation into spring, when the summer fragrances and the sweet smells of new growth once more return to the edge of Alderley.
Underneath the stars bright, we walk up on needles of pine, feel the gentle breeze as we walk through the trees, raining in the summertime. My home is not wintertime has gone away. My home is not welcome in the month of flying round the fire, there's magic to admire. Now the chill has left our bones, sisters dance together. The spell binds us forever inside the circle of stones. My home is not wintertime is gone away. My home is not welcome in the month of May.
The rising mists of autumn sky still hide the heights of Alderley. In dragon forms the dun clouds pass, as scarlet leaves fall thick and fast. But peace, maybe another age, shall write the records on their page. No trace remains, nor since that night has mortal eye beheld the sight, until the hour decreed by fate, none shall see the iron gates. So, with the words of our anonymous chronicler of the legends of the iron gates, we leave the edge. Yet who knows, even in modern times, in this techno-age we live in now, can it be that old myths, legends and tales still reach out for us? How interesting is it, looking back to the wizard's prophecy, that when the last George, the son of the George, was on the throne, the land was indeed in dire peril. A handful of young air combatants successfully flew in Spitfire aircraft powered by engines named after Merlin. Just a thought to send you home with. Thanks must be extended to Mandy Parr and the Alderley AHG History Group, who arranged for this presentation to take place in this lovely church. Thank you for listening to us. It's a farewell from Paul Walker and Karen Pfeiffer. I sent you to sleep or something. And to the chap who wrote it all, Joe Beard.
And Sutton Coldfield's finest wizard, Malcolm Robinson. Thank you very much. Thank you for enabling this, Andy.
Pleasure. Happy to see. Well, I think we've all had a fantastic evening, and you've got to agree, none of us were quite sure what a folk fantasia is, and now we know. And guess what? The best folk fantasia came out of Alderley. So thank you to Chris and Malcolm and Paul and Karen, and safe home everybody, and thank you for coming.
Joe here has two names, depending on what sort of style you're using, don't you?
Oh, hang on, it's interesting. At school, there were 5 Christophers in my class, and the teacher got fed up with this, and he decided I looked like the boy in the hit film at the time, Shane. It was called Little Joey. So he called me Joey, and my father used it as a weapon against my mother when they were having a row. He called me Joey. The neighbours got to hear it, and I've been called Joey, or Joe, since 1952.
Quite recent, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. I'm amazed to see how many of you turned up. Yeah. Okay, that's it then. Thank you.
And I'll work again.